Hi everyone. So now we are on, I hope I get this right, Second Wives Club, First Husband, Part 2. You'll have to go over to Sandy Mom channel, my other channel, and listen to Part 1 of the second part. Part 2, the first part of Part 2. I don't know. I hope you can figure it out. The backstory to this story. So anyhow, where I left off on the other channel was the divorce. The first marriage of me being the second wife, the first time around. Oh, I think I got a fruit fly on me. Hold on. So that marriage ended in divorce. Over time, well, actually, pretty much after he said I do, he started to change. But of course, I was in love and I didn't see it. But we had a business. I started a business for him, a cleaning service, a commercial cleaning service, when I found out he was on unemployment. Remember those words when I get to the second husband. I didn't know until we did taxes. He got unemployment paperwork, and I did taxes. I just was really good at math. I'm like, what is this? My mom worked in payroll, and she informed me, guess what? Mr. Wonderful didn't have a job. He had apparently been out of Kodak for a long time. He had lied to me. He had a job at Kodak, so he said, but he didn't. So my mom got him a job at the university where she worked, a good paying job with wonderful benefits. Our insurance was free. Our medicine was free. A great retirement, all of it. So he was set, and I put a $3 ad in a local little town paper, and we started a cleaning business. So someone who, before I met him, who just stayed in his, is it called a trailer? Yeah, trailer, and lived on unemployment, turned into a workaholic. He learned about working and how to be a man. So anyhow, as my mom put it, you set him up really good for the next woman, which I did. So he had a great retirement, and I was married a pretty long time to him, more than 10 years, so I was entitled to the retirement and everything. Well, his third wife ended up with all the money I built up for us, the two of us. And that will be a whole nother story in itself. So anyhow, it ended in divorce. It was a long, drawn-out divorce because we had a business and we had, well, I pretty much took care of the finances, everything. He did the bulwark. I was the brains. He was the brawn. My mom and dad worked for us. They wanted to. And then when our kids were, I don't know, like teenagers or 12. No, they were teenagers. They wanted to do a little, like sweeping or whatever, I'd rather pay them than pay someone else. And then we had college kids. We had a college here where it was where rich kids went. And actually, some rich kids actually wanted to work. So we had a couple there that would work, The girls we had work there didn't really turn out. They were always flirting with the guys. Or we had one guy, remember, I always caught him on the work phone. You weren't supposed to touch the phone in the offices we cleaned. So that could be another story in itself. So anyhow, the marriage just was crumbling, so to say. He was like pulling away emotionally. The love I could feel was not there. It just wasn't there. It wasn't there. And I remember calling my mom at night crying, and I feel bad now thinking about it. Putting the load on her and thinking, she had told me that he was too old for me, and maybe that was. But the real part of the whole thing, I was the second wife. So many things that, when you're married, you want to do together, for me it would be firsts. He always said, and remember these words when I talk about the second husband, oh, I already did that. I already did that. I already did that. Of course, he was married before. Of course, he had a real marriage in a real church in my religion, Catholic. She got the whole shebang. What did I get with him? A justice of the peace. Our reception was in our apartment. My mom made it really nice for me, but still, I had a wedding dress, but it wasn't, every girl's dream. Well, my dream at least. That's what's wrong with being the second wife. Sorry, my finger again. You miss out on all that. Well, maybe you don't, but in my case, we did. Because he already did it before. My maid of honor, who was a friend, who, if you watch part 1, the very first part, who, well, I won't tell you. She ended up, she put cans on the back of the car, just married. He said no, he didn't want it, red flag, because he's already done that before. And my mom was there. She says no, but Sandra hasn't done it. Again, many red flags that I should have seen. So this marriage just was getting, I could see he was pulling away. But he was always a good provider. He always made sure the kids and I had stuff. It was always, we never went without. It was nothing like, well, I'll keep that for the next story. But anyhow, he was a very good provider. I will not take that away from him. But he started skimming off the business. When I was pregnant with our 5th child, it was a bad pregnancy. I was in the hospital more than out. And he had lied and told the company that I was sicker than I was and they should deal with him. And, I was just trying to keep my pregnancy going and the baby safe. So I didn't know. So all this was going behind my back. Of course, the business was, both of ours, so to say. I mean, I started it, but whatever. So he started taking contracts away from me, hiding money, and it was a big mess. So basically, we had a lot of money. We had tons of money. Tons. And we helped a lot of organizations. I helped my mom. I paid all her bills. We just, I feel if you have abundance of money, that's just me. You should help people, and we did. But anyhow, we were skimming off the business, skimming off everything. And, when you're married, you have all your money together. And when you have it together, either party can take it. He had a good lawyer, a shark. A shark. She was not going to be done with me until she had eaten me up alive. So obviously she was telling him to take money out. I mean, the last thing I did, I was paying bills. We had enough money that I didn't even have to balance a checkbook. There was enough to go around, pay my mom's bills. I didn't know he was taking money. He was stealing. Oh, it was terrible. Anyhow, one day, my mom was over. Mom came a lot. She kind of filled in for him as the years went by that he wasn't around much. Well, he was working a lot, but, when he was here, he wasn't the same. Things were different. And one day, she was here as usual on a Saturday morning. She liked to come because she didn't work on a Saturday morning. She worked. Work was number one. We were number two, but I don't blame her that. She was a career woman, but she loved to be around her grandkids, which really, she was actually my aunt, but I called her my mom, and that's a whole nother story. So she was here. She loved being here with the kids and all, and, we did stuff, and he was working. Our business went also besides commercial cleaning, house cleaning, then he was doing gutter cleaning, window cleaning. He was just a workaholic. So he wasn't here, and, I had 3 little kids, I think, at the time, 4, I don't know. So she just came over, like, well, not to help out. I never told her to help out, but she always has this thing about laundry should be put away. And I says, Mom, laundry can wait. I think there's a saying about that. Kids are only small and, laundry can wait. So, I did the laundry, but sometimes it was in the basket and I just didn't put it away right away. Oh my God, that bothered her. So she would put the laundry away, or, if she saw dishes in the sink, which really never was. I could never go to sleep with dishes in the sink. I could not. That was my thing. I could not wake up with a sink full of dishes. Remember that story when I go to husband number 2. So anyhow, she would just do a few things, and I let her, made her feel good. But, we played with the kids, took them out to McDonald's, the park, whatever. So one day she was here on a Saturday. It was in January. And actually she was coming with me. I was 4.5 months pregnant, I think. And she was coming with me because I couldn't carry anything because of the bad pregnancy, to bring our printer. We had this big, massive printer because we had a business. It had to be fixed. So anyhow, she was there, I was there. And I don't remember if he was gone and he stopped home for some, but I don't know. He literally went nuts. He got in an argument with her, which he did a lot as things changed. And that's my mom. You don't yell at my mom. Well, he started yelling at her, and this wasn't, well, he would yell. Back then I didn't know the difference. I was young and stupid. He would yell, but he never yelled or swore at me. He would just be mad and just kind of just at himself, oh, like someone would just say maybe, oh, I'm so stupid. He wouldn't call himself stupid, but, he would just yell about himself. But to me, I perceived it that he was yelling at me. Well, this day he was yelling at my mom, and he had never done this before. And of course, I went to defend her. I was, like I said, 4.5 months pregnant, I believe, halfway through the pregnancy. And he really got into it with her, and he knocked her to the ground. I'm sure his family doesn't know this because, there's always two sides to the story, the truth and what's not true. He knocked her down. That was it. I went over to him. I said, "You're done. Get out of here. Nobody touches my mom." Well, what did he do? He knocked me to the ground. Again, I was halfway through my pregnancy. I started to bleed. One of my kids called the police. The police came, took him out of the house. I was crawling on the ground to get to my mom. It was horrible. So needless to say, that was that. But just to pique your interest on the next part of the story, my mom still was very forgiving and forgave him and thought we should try to work it out. So I'll leave you there. And I think part 2 of the first husband. So don't forget to subscribe, like. When you press like, it helps the algorithm, which puts my videos out for more people to see, which we can grow the channel and more people, more fun, more stories. If you'd like to share your stories, again, about your marriage, you don't have to, but how many times you were married or if you weren't. And if you weren't married, how did you live your life? I always wonder how it is to be single. Not like wonder, just like, I don't know, how is it I don't like to be alone, so I liked being married. So let me know. Do nice things for other people, especially in these hard times. Don't forget to love one another, and together we can make a difference. Thanks for listening to my story, and this will continue on. So for now, bye everyone.